Do you see my screen, students?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Uh, yes. In the last theory class, we discussed about Gauss forward formula. Then also I discussed about Gauss backward formula, and we discussed about Starling's formula, which is nothing but the average of Gauss forward and Gauss backward formula. So today we'll be discussing a little bit about Bessel's formula, how the entries are taken from the forward difference table, and Everett's formula. Again, these are central difference formulas. What happens if the data, if the point where you want to find out the output values, if that is near to the center of the table or middle of the table, then you shall apply one of these central difference formulas like Gauss forward, Gauss backward, Bessel's, Everett's, or Starling, depending on the choice. Okay, so we have already discussed Gauss forward, Gauss backward, and Starling's, how the entries are taken in Bessel's formula. So you create the forward difference table. Do you see the screen? What is written in the screen? What is the
Bessel
section
formula.
name? Bessel's formula. Okay, so you create the forward difference table. So I have taken arbitrary data. Center is denoted as x naught, and previous element is x1, y minus, sorry, x minus 1, y minus 1, and so on. And after elements are x1, y1, x2, y2, and so on. So this is the general table. Only highlighted rows are x naught, y naught rows, and x1, y1 rows, and in between elements, because only those entries will be taken in the Bessel's formula. So you know how to create the table and how to name the elements. You have already seen it in Gauss forward formula. So here, how entries will be taken? So the first, you will have to consider linear combination of certain elements in the forward difference table. So in Bessel's formula, how the output at any arbitrary point is evaluated? Output at any arbitrary point xp is evaluated by formula number 17. Formula number 17 is nothing but the linear combination of the highlighted elements. It is nothing but the linear combination of these highlighted elements. It is not working properly. Just a moment.
तो पापा क्या करते हैं गवर्नमेंट जॉब में?
It is not working properly. This highlighter. What is happening? Okay. So all the highlighted elements are used in Bessel's formula. How? So the formula initially is written as y naught plus y1 by 2 into some constant. So the value at any arbitrary point xp is written as yp, which is equals to y naught plus y1 by 2 plus b1 certain constant into delta y naught plus b2 certain constant into del square y minus 1 plus del square y naught by 2, average of those two elements, plus b3 constant into del q y minus 1, and so on. So this is the general structure of the polynomial. Now here the unknowns are b1, b2, b3, b4. Now how to identify these constants? Once you know the value of these constants, your formula will be ready to apply. So what you have to do, you have to write down, just like Gauss forward method, you have to write down left hand side and right hand side in terms of y naught. So everything you have to express in terms of y naught. So you know the process how to express any higher order differences in terms of x naught and y naught. How to do that? By taking the help of shift operator. So once you do it and you identify b1, b2, b3, b4, you will get these values of b1, b2, b3, b4, and so on. Okay, so then your formula will be ready to apply. So let us see how the Bessel's formula is used to interpolate the data. So here you have to remember these constants, or rather let me say you have to remember the Bessel's formula. So if you look at the data points, you are given 4 data points. Y at x equals to 10 is given as 2854. Y at x equals to 14 is given as 3162. Y at x equals to 18 is given as 3544. And y at x equals to 22 is given as 3992. So these 4 data points are given, and you have to evaluate what will be the output value at x equals to 15. You have to evaluate what will be y15, and this is you have to do it by Bessel's formula. So first thing first, you have to create the forward difference table. So data points are taken 10, 14, 18, 22, and output values are this. Okay, now you have to complete the forward difference table. So forward difference table that is completed. So it will take some time. You can complete the forward difference table. Next what? So you will have to determine which element you want to choose as center. So what you have to do, you have to find out y at x equals to 15. 15 lies between 14 and 18, is not it? So either you will be choosing 14 as center or 18 as center. So here in this calculation, 14 is chosen as center. So index for 14 is 0, index for 10 is -1, index for 18 is 1, and index for 22 is 2. Okay, so once you choose 14 as center, so these values you have to take in your calculation. So first these two elements in y, then this element in first order forward difference, then these two elements in second order forward difference, then this element in third order forward differences. So these elements you will have to take in your calculation in the Bessel's formula. So now what you do, you simply write down the Bessel's formula, which is given by this here. This is the formula. If I represent it by equation number A, so that is the Bessel's formula. So you have to identify what is P. So how to calculate P? I have chosen 14 as center. So what will be the value of P? Xp equals to x naught plus P into H. So that will give you Xp is what? Where you want to find out the output values? At 15. So Xp is 15. X naught, the center, which is 14, plus P. And what is H here?
4.
4. So that will give you P equals to 1 by 4 or 0.25. So y naught, y1, these all are known to you. P is also known to you. So now use the formula and complete the calculation. So you see P is obtained as 0.25. Now Bessel's formula is written. So now substitute the values. Y naught plus y1 by 2. Y naught is 3162. Y1 is 3544. So first term will be 3162 plus 3544 by 2. Next term will be P minus half into delta y naught. So P is 0.25 minus half into delta y naught. Delta y naught is 382. So 382. Next is P into P minus 1. So 0.25 into 0.25 minus 1 by factorial 2 into average of second order forward difference. So that is 74 plus 66 by 2, and so on. You have to consider the last term. So this is how Bessel's formula is used. So you do not have to remember the derivation. but the process will be known to you, how you derive the formula. Similarly, in Everett's formula, particular elements from the forward difference tables are taken. So here you see, if you look at the Bessel's formula, these in between elements are not taken. So you see only even order forward differences are taken in the forward difference table. So let us take some real data, some real number. Then I'll tell you what is happening here. So you see, these are the 4 data points: 20, 2854, 28 3162, 36 7088, 44 7984. So from these 4 data points, you complete the forward difference table. Once the forward difference table is written, you will determine which element you want to choose as center. So you have to evaluate y value at x equals to 30. 30 is lying between 20 and 36. So either you'll be choosing 28 as center or 36 as center. So suppose here 28 is chosen as center. While choosing center, you also have to keep it in your mind that p value should be lying between minus 0.5 to plus 0.5. And that element will be chosen as center, for which p value will be from minus 0.5 to plus 0.5. So here if you see, so basically you will be choosing that element as a center for which it will be closer to the point where you want to find out the output values. So 30, that is the point where you want to find out the output values. So 28 is closer to 30 compared to 36. So you will be choosing 28 as center. So once you choose 28 as center, which element from the forward difference table will be taken? So even order forward differences in the row y0 and y1. So even order forward difference in the forward difference table will be taken in the row y0 and y1. If you look at the structure, you see even order forward differences in the row y0 and even other forward differences in the row y1. So these entries are taken only, nothing else. So what is the, how to find the formula then? So output at any arbitrary point yp will be linear combination of these elements. Okay, so certain constant into y0 plus another constant into del square y minus 1 plus another constant into del 4 y minus 2 plus another constant into del 6 minus y minus 3 and so on, plus another set of constant into y1 plus another constant into del square y0 plus another constant into del 4 y minus 1 and so on. Though this representation of yp is infinite, it is not the case. That part should be finite. There will be only finite number of terms in this expression.
Sir, your voice is not clear.
Yes, sir, your voice is lacking.
Yes, sir, too much lagging.
Okay, okay.
No, sir.
No. Okay. Actually, not in my hand. It is not clear. I cannot do anything. I do it for some time. Am I clearly what you mean now?
No, sir.
Still not very clear. Okay. So basically, you will have to take linear combination of these entries, and then again the drill is same. You will have to
Sir,
find
your
out.
voice is breaking.
My voice is breaking. Okay, so what I'll do, I'll
Yes, sir.
in the meeting and then I'll again
Sir,
try.
rejoin. Maybe it will.
Am I audible now?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay. Maybe headphone was not working properly. Maybe that was the case. Okay. Do you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So this is the entries you will be considering in Everett's formula. So you consider the linear combination of these elements, highlighted elements, circled elements. So only even order forward differences in the row y0 and y1. Though the representation yp in next line seems infinite, elements are there, it is not the case. There will be finite number of elements in the table. So in this representation of yp, you will have to identify the constants. So that the same procedure will be done. You have to write down everything in this equation, both left hand side and right hand side in terms of y0. And then you compare the coefficients of like order forward differences. And if you do it, you will end up with these values of the constants. And they are very symmetric. So it is very easy to remember these constants. Okay. So you will have to remember that. So for example, in this particular problem, if you want to find out the output values at x equals to 30, then this is fusional center, 28 is fusional center. Okay. So basically this is y0 and this is y1. So even order forward differences in these two rows will be considered in the formula. So this particular element, and the next two elements in the next row, these are taken in the Everett's formula. So what is P here? Tell me again. Xp is what? X0 plus P into H. So that will give you 30 equals to 28 plus P into H. What is H? 8. So that will give you P equals to 0.25 again. So once you know, so P equals to 0.25, and in the formula you see constants are in terms of P and Q. What is Q? Q is 1 minus P. So Q will be 1 minus 0.25. So that will be 0.75. So the constants are known to you. That is in terms of P and Q. So now you use the formula to find out the values. Okay. So this is the formula, Everett's formula. Use this formula. So what will be the answer here? Q into y0. So what will be your answer? Q into y0 plus Q into q square minus 1 square by factorial 3 del square y minus 1. So these two elements are taken in the first row. Then next row you have to consider row in y1. So their value will be P into y1 plus P into p square minus 1 square by factorial 3 into del square y0. So only these four terms will be there, because only 4 elements are taken from the table. So only 4 terms will be there in the Everett's formula, these circle terms. So you use this circle term, substitute the values, and you will get the output answer. So 4064, that is the output, 4064. So at 30 output will be 4064. Okay, so these are the methods. So you will have to study yourself. I have already uploaded the PDF, so you go through it. So these are the methods to interpolate the data which are evenly spaced or unevenly spaced. Evenly spaced. So these are the methods for evenly spaced data. Now, so what will happen if the data points are unevenly spaced? So you cannot apply these. You cannot apply Newton's forward difference formula, Newton's backward difference formula, Starling's, Bessel's, Everett's. You cannot apply them. Gauss forward, Gauss backward. So we are going to study few more methods which are applicable to any kind of data set, especially for unevenly spaced data. So they will be Lagrange's interpolation formula and Newton's divided difference formula. Okay, so we are going to study them in details. Now tell me, out of all the methods, interpolation method we have studied so far, which are recursive in nature? Recursive means, suppose initially 3 data points are given to you. Let me write down. So suppose initially 3 data points are given to you. For example, data points are 1, let's say 4, 3, 7, 5, let's say 10. So these 3 data points are given. Okay. So you find the polynomial by some interpolation formula. You can apply Newton's forward difference, you can apply Newton's backward difference, you can apply Gauss forward, Gauss backward, anything, because they are evenly spaced. So if now I add one more data point, suppose that is 7, 16. So can we use the previous calculation, the calculation for first 3 data? Can we use it for this new set of data points to determine the polynomial? Recursive means what? To calculate pk, the calculation of pk minus 1 should be used. So pk should be written in terms of pk minus 1 plus minus something. So which of the methods we have studied so far, they are recursive? All of them. You see, Newton's forward difference formula, Newton's backward difference formula. If you add one more data point at the end or at the beginning, or let's say at the end, if you add one more data point at the end such that the data remains evenly spaced, then only one term at the end in the forward difference formula have to be added. So those formula, they are recursive in nature. Now we'll be discussing few methods for unevenly spaced data. So first one is Lagrange's interpolation formula. So this is very easy to implement, Lagrange's interpolation. So again, suppose you are given n plus 1 data points, x naught, x1, y1 up to xn, yn. How many data points are there? N plus 1 data points. So here the polynomial will be of degree at most n. So the trick is how you consider the initial construction of the polynomial. So let the polynomial p of x be a naught certain constant into x minus x1, x minus x2 up to x minus xn plus another constant a1 into x minus x1, sorry, x minus x naught into x minus x2, x minus x1 factor is missing there, into x minus x3 up to x minus xn, and the last term is n into x minus x naught, x minus x1 up to x minus xn minus 1. So tell me the degree of, see, in first term x minus x naught factor is missing, in second term x minus x1 factor is missing, in n plus 1th term x minus xn factor is missing. So tell me what is the degree of each term? They are polynomial. Each term is a polynomial. What is the degree? N. So if you add n plus 1 polynomial with degree n, the ultimate polynomial, resulting polynomial will be again of degree at most n. First term, second term, highest degree cancel bhi ho sakte hain. That is why I am saying at most, because that is the combination of all those polynomials of degree n. तो कॉम्बिनेशन करने के टाइम हो सकता है कि हाईएस्ट ऑर्डर कैंसिल हो जाए, so it will be of degree at most n. So this is the clever way to construct the initial polynomial. Now you see this polynomial is passing through, so you will have to choose a0, a1 and an, this constant, in such a way that this polynomial is passing through the given data points. So you pass this polynomial through the data point and tell me what is a0, a1, a2 and an. If you can identify them, your formula is ready. So what will be a0? So take the first data point for x0, y0. If the polynomial passes through that point, what will be a0? What is on the left hand side? For the point x0, y0, left hand side is p of x0, which is nothing but y0. And what is on the right hand side? a0 into
x0 minus x1,
x0 minus x1, x0 minus x2 up to x0 minus xn. And what about the remaining terms?
वो कैंसिल हो जाएंगे सर.
0 हो जाएंगे because they are having x minus x0 as a factor. So x की जगह x0 put करेंगे तो x0 minus x0 हो जाएगा. So all those terms will be 0. So you can easily identify what will be a0. y0 by x0 minus x1, x0 minus x2 up to x0 minus xn. Similarly, what will be a1? Can you tell me? For x1, y1 point, if the polynomial passes through x1, y1, that will give you a1. Can you tell me what will be a1?
1 upon x1 minus x0, x1 minus x2.
a1 will be y1 upon
x1 minus x0, x1 minus
x1 minus
x2,
x0 into
x1 minus x2.
x1 minus x2 up to so on x1 minus xn. So what will be an for the last data?
yn upon xn
Yn
minus
upon
x0, xn minus
xn
x0,
minus x0, xn
minus
minus x1 up to
xn minus xn minus 1.
So these are the constants. You see, very easily you can determine them. So the ultimate formula you are getting. So hence p of x, the polynomial will be x minus x1, x minus x2 up to x minus xn by x0 minus x1, x0 minus x2 up to x0 minus xn into y0. That is the first term. Second term will be x minus x0, x minus x2 up to x minus xn by x1 minus x0, x1 minus x2 up to x1 minus xn into y1 up to the last term. Last term will be x minus x0, x minus x1 up to x minus xn minus 1 by xn minus x0, xn minus x1 up to xn minus 1 into yn. So this is the polynomial you are obtaining passing through the point x0, y0, x1, y1 up to xn, yn. So you see the derivation of the Lagrange interpolation is very easy. Okay. So tell me some advantages of this Lagrange interpolation formula over the existing methods, whatever we have studied so far. Tell me the advantage of this. Anybody? First advantage is this can be applicable to any kind of data, evenly spaced or unevenly spaced. Is not it?
Yes,
Yes
sir.
or no? So
Yes,
that is
sir.
first advantage. It is applicable to any kind of data. So let me write down advantages. It is applicable to any kind of data. Tell me any other advantages. Tell me. It is very easy to implement. Yes or no? What about any? Do you see any other advantages of this method over the existing methods? What about the order of the nodes, input values? In Newton's forward difference formula, Newton's backward difference formula, they will have to be in a certain order, in increasing order or decreasing order. Yes or no? x0, x1, x2, x3 इनको increasing order या decreasing order में होने हैं. So they will have to be in a certain order. So you will have to sort the data according to the input values. इसमें आपको सॉर्ट करने की जरूरत नहीं है. रॉ डेटा आपने लिए और उनको अपने फॉर्मूले में डाल दिए. So data need not be sorted. Data points need not be sorted. Sorted according to input values. But in the earlier methods, for example, Newton's forward difference, backward difference, Gauss forward, Gauss backward, and so on, there you had to sort the data at the beginning, either in increasing order or decreasing order in the input values. Then only you will be able to identify the age. No? What is age? Age is the space between two consecutive data. तो अगर सॉर्ट नहीं करेंगे तो स्पेस कैसे फाइंड करेंगे? हाँ? Is it okay? So these are the advantages of this method. Can you tell me any disadvantage of this method? Can you tell me any disadvantage of this method? Is it recursive in nature, this Lagrange interpolation? मतलब आपको मान लो पहले 3 डेटा पॉइंट दिए हैं तो आपने 2 डिग्री के पॉलिनोमियल फाइंड किए यूजिंग Lagrange इंटरपोलेशन. उसके बाद मैंने एक और डेटा बढ़ा दिए. So can you use the previous calculation to find out a polynomial of degree 4 for the of degree 3 of 4 data points? पहले आपके पास 3
No,
डेटा
sir.
पॉइंट था. So polynomial would have been of degree 2. आपने और एक डेटा बढ़ा दिए. So now the polynomial will be of degree 3. तो इस 3 डिग्री पॉलिनोमियल की कैलकुलेशन में क्या हम लोग 2 डिग्री पॉलिनोमियल यूज कर सकते हैं?
Sir, I guess no.
No, answer is no, because you have to start the calculation again from the beginning. So you see the initial construction will be totally changed if one data point is introduced. Yes or no? आपने 2-3 डेटा के साथ और एक डेटा अगर बढ़ा दिए तो इनिशियल कंस्ट्रक्शन ही चेंज हो जाएगा, तो पूरा प्रोसेस ही चेंज हो जाएगा. तो आपको फिर से एकदम शुरू से कैलकुलेशन स्टार्ट करना पड़ेगा. So this method is not recursive. This is not recursive. This so what we are planning to do, so we want to overcome this problem. We want to find a method, we want to discuss a method which will be applicable to any kind of data, evenly spaced or unevenly spaced, does not matter, and it has to be recursive. So for that purpose, we are going to study one more method, that is Newton's divided difference formula. Newton's divided difference. So why we are planning to study this particular method? Because Lagrange interpolation is applicable to any kind of data, but that is not recursive in nature. So we want to study a method which will also be recursive and also be applicable to any kind of data, evenly spaced or unevenly spaced, does not matter. So that is why we are planning to study this. Sometimes it is also known as general interpolation formula. Okay. Why general? Because many existing interpolation formula which we have studied, for example, Newton's forward difference formula, Newton's backward difference formula, they can be derived from this Newton's divided difference formula. So if the data points are, for example, evenly spaced and they are sorted, then by applying Newton's divided difference formula, you will end up with Newton's forward difference formula. So in a particular case, as a particular case, we will be able to recover Newton's forward difference formula and backward difference formula. That is why this is called general interpolation formula. Okay, so let me show it from the PDF. Okay. So we are planning to study Newton's divided difference, this formula. So first you have to understand what is divided difference. Then only you will be able to create the formula. Is it okay? Students, am I audible to you?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay. So let us first define divided difference. So it is just like forward difference, but forward difference will be divided by something. Okay. So it will be just like forward difference, but forward difference will be divided by certain real number. So let's see how. So divided difference is denoted by this symbol. Third bracket, the two input values x0 and x1. If you are finding the divided difference of x0 and x1, we are planning to use, not planning, we will be using this notation. Third bracket, then two entries, they will be separated by comma. So that is the divided difference of x0 and x1. And how it is defined? So that is defined as y1 minus y0, output at x1 minus output at x0 by the length of the interval x1 minus x0. Okay. So divided difference of x0 x1 is output at x1, which is y1, minus output at x0, which is y0, by x1 minus x0. So tell me, let me hide this part and tell me what is the divided difference of x2 x3 by definition. Tell me.
y3 minus y2 upon x3 minus
y3 minus y2 upon
x3
minus x2. So that is the divided difference. So these are called first order divided difference. Okay, these are called first order divided difference. Similarly, second order divided difference, you need 3 points: x0, x1, x2, or x1, x2, x3, or x3, x4, x5, like this. So the second order divided difference for x0, x1, x2 is defined as divided difference of last two data minus divided difference of first two data by the length of the interval. What is that? The length of the interval? x2 minus x0. So the divided difference of x0, x1, x2 is defined as divided difference of last two data, which is x1, x2. So that divided difference minus divided difference of first two data, which are x0, x1, by the length of the interval, which is x2 minus x0. So tell me what will be this x3, x4, x5. What will be this divided difference? Divided difference of x4, x5 minus divided difference of x3, x4 by x5 minus x3.
3.
Okay, so this is how you are defining. Similarly, higher order divided difference, for example, third order divided difference will be defined as, so 4 points are there, x0, x1, x2, x3. So it will be defined as divided difference of last 3 data minus divided difference of past 3 data by the length of the interval x3 minus x0, and so on. Fourth order, fifth order, accordingly you can define. Okay, so first let us consider one real data and how the table is created, how to find out the divided difference. Then I will tell you the derivation of the Newton's divided difference formula. That will be very simple, very easy. So you see, this is the table. Okay, so data points are taken x0, y0, x1, y1, x2, y2, x3, y3, x4, y4. So first column is first order divided difference, second column is second order divided difference, third order divided difference, fourth order divided difference. This is how the table is created. So first entry will be written just like in forward difference table. It will be written here. So what that entry will be? That entry will be divided difference of x0 and x1. And what is that by definition? y1 minus y0 by x1 minus x0. Second element in that column will be the divided difference of x1 x2 by definition, that is y1 minus y2, sorry, y2 minus y1 by x2 minus x1, and so on the remaining elements. In second order divided difference column, the elements will be written. Similarly, in third order divided difference, elements will be written, and in elements in fourth order divided difference will be written in fourth column. So how many elements are and what will be the highest degree divided difference? That will be depending on the nature of the data and number of data points. Okay, so let us take some real values and complete the table. So here I have taken these 5 data points: 122, 230, 482, 7, 110, 12, 216. Okay, so first column is input values, second column is output values, third column will represent first order divided difference, fourth column second order divided difference, fifth column third order divided difference, and sixth column fourth order divided difference. So input values are written 1, 2, 4, 7, 12. You see, they are unevenly spaced data. And Y values are written also, output values 22, 30, 82, 106, 216. So first element, just like forward difference table, it will be written here in this dotted position. So what is that element? Difference between the output values minus the difference between the input values. So 30 minus 22 by 2 minus 1, that is 8. So that is the first entry. Second entry in that column will be in this dotted position, just like forward difference table. That will be what? 82 minus 30 by 4 minus 2, 26. Next column will be at this dotted position. That will be 106 minus 82 by 7 minus 4. It will be coming like 8. So I will not be discussing from this table because it is already written. So let me create the table and you tell me the values. 1, 2, 4, 7, 12. So X values are 1, 2, 4, 7, 12. And what are the Y values? 22, 30, 82, 22, 30, 82, 106, 216. 106, 216. Okay. So this is output, first order divided difference, second order divided difference, third order divided difference, fourth order divided difference. You will have to tell the values. Huh? That will be better.
8.
Okay. So tell me what is the entry at this dotted position? First order divided
8,
difference.
sir.
Huh?
8.
8. How did you get 8? That is 30 minus 22 by 2 minus 1. What is the value here?
26.
How did you get 26? That is 82 minus 30 by 4 minus 2. So that will be 52 by 2. So that is 26. What is the entry here?
8, sir.
106 minus 82. 106 minus 82 by 7 minus 4. So 106 minus 82, that is 24 by 3, that is 8. What is the entry at this position? 216 minus 106 by 12 minus 7. How much it is coming?
22.
20. Okay, fine. That is coming 22. So now you tell me what are the elements in the next divided difference column, which is second order divided difference. So I'll point out
26
and
minus
we have to tell the values. So what is the entry here at this position?
26 minus 8 upon 4 minus 1.
26 minus 8 upon 4 minus 1. How much it is coming?
6.
6. What will be the entry here? That will
8
be 8
minus
minus 26 by
7 minus 2.
7 minus 2. That will be coming, if you simplify, minus 3.6. What is the entry at this dotted position?
22 minus 8 upon 12 minus 4.
22 minus 8 upon 12 minus 4. So that will be coming 1.75. Okay. So now next order divided difference, third order. So what is that? What is the element here?
Minus 3.6 minus 6 upon 7
Minus
minus
3.6 minus 6 by
7 minus 1.
7 minus 1. That will be coming as minus 1.6. What is the entry at this position?
1.75 minus
1.75 minus 3.6
प्लस हो जाएगा
plus हो जाएगा by 12 minus 2. So that will be coming as 0.535, and the last order divided difference for the given data will be 0.535 minus minus plus 1.6 by
minus 1.
12 minus 1. So that will be coming 0.194. So this is how divided difference table is created. You remember, properties will be almost similar to forward difference. Forward difference by some real number. So forward difference table के जो properties थे वो same property इसी में भी follow होंगे. अगर आप n+1 डेटा के forward difference find करते हैं तो highest order possible non-zero value will be n. उसके बाद सारे एलिमेंट जीरो हो जाएंगे क्योंकि फॉरवर्ड डिफरेंस सुपर में है, इन द न्यूमरेटर, डिनोमिनेटर में कुछ एंट्रीज है. तो फॉरवर्ड डिफरेंस में जो प्रॉपर्टीज फॉलो किए थे वो सेम प्रॉपर्टी फॉलो करेंगे डिवाइडेड डिफरेंस टेबल. ओके, सो दिस इज हाउ डिवाइडेड डिफरेंस टेबल इज क्रिएटेड. एंड you have to remember only one particular diagonal in this divided difference table, that is the first diagonal. This right diagonal you have to remember. Just like forward difference table, in Newton's forward difference formula, first diagonal was used. Here also first diagonal in the divided difference table will be used in Newton's divided difference formula. तो पहले जो diagonal होंगे उस diagonal के एंट्रीज हम लोग यूज करेंगे in Newton's divided difference formula. Let's see how. So let us go back to the PDF. So did you understand how to create the table, divided difference table? Students, did you get it? How do we create the divided difference table? Was it okay to you?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes,
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now let us see the derivation. How Newton's divided difference formula is used. How that formula is written. Okay. So here, suppose you are given n plus 1 data points, x0, y0, x1, y1, x2, y2 up to xn, yn. These are the data points which are given to you. Okay. Now, what you have to do, you have to find out the output at any arbitrary point x. This is what is your aim. Yes or no? What is the output at any arbitrary x? That is your aim. That is the formula of the polynomial. So I am starting with divided difference of x and x0. So what is that by formula? Output at x0 minus output at x by length of the interval x0 minus x. So is this line okay to you? Is this
Yes,
line
sir.
number 1 okay to you?
Yes, sir. Yes.
So x divided difference of x comma x0 is by definition output at x0 minus output at x by the length of the interval. So that is y0 minus y of x by x0 minus x. So from there you calculate what is y of x, because y of x you need to find out na. So calculate what is y of x. So if you calculate y of x, you will end up with this. Simple calculation. You do the cross multiplication, simplify, and you will end up with equation number 2. Y of x is y0 plus x minus x0 into divided difference of x, x0. Now in equation number 2, this is the unknown part. This highlighted divided difference is unknown part. You will have to find out the value of this. So let's see how we can find out. So remember the relation in line number 2. Now start with divided difference of x0, x, x0, x1. So this equation number 3. So what is the divided difference of x, x0, x1? So by definition, that is divided difference of last two data, x0, x1, minus divided difference of first two data, which are x, x0, by the total length. So what is the total length? x1 minus x. So you simplify it and you find out this particular value. What is the divided difference of x, x0? So you simply do the cross multiplication and simplify it. If you do it, you will end up with equation number 4. No complication is there. You simply do the cross multiplication and write down divided difference of x, x0. Okay. So is line number 4 okay to you? The equation number 4?
Oh, yes, sir.
So now you see in equation number 2, we are having the highlighted part, divided difference of x, x0. And in equation number 4, we have the value of that. We have the value of x, x0, is not it? In equation number, we have the value of x, x0, that divided difference. So substitute that value in equation number 2 from equation number 4. So what you will get if you do the substitution? Let me remove the line number, equation number 22, and let me write down myself. So what will be y of x from equation number 2? Tell me. What will be y of x? That will be y0 plus x minus x0 into divided difference of x, x0. And what is that from equation number 4? That is, so let me write down in terms of second bracket. Okay. So that will be divided difference of x0, x1 plus x minus x1 into divided difference of x, x0, x1. So if you simplify this line, you will get this Equation number 5, yes or no? You do the multiplication. You separate the terms. So first term is y naught, second term is x minus x naught into divided difference of x naught x1 plus x minus x naught into x minus x1 into divided difference of x naught x1. Now in equation number 5, this part is unknown to you. Divided difference of x naught x1. So you need to calculate that value. So how to calculate that value? We'll take the help of next data x2 y2. We'll take the help of next data x2 y2. So now you consider this term, divided difference of x naught x1 x2. So by definition, that will be divided difference of last three data, which is x naught x1 x2 minus divided difference of first three data, which are x naught x1 by the total length x2 minus x, and from there you calculate this part x naught x1. So if you simply do the multiplication and simplify, you will get x naught x1 equals to divided difference of x naught x1 x2 plus x minus x2 into divided difference of x naught x1 x2. So you call it equation number 6. So equation number 5, you have to find the values of x naught x1. They are the divided difference, and now you have done it in equation number 6. So substitute that value in equation number 5, and you keep on doing it until all data points are consumed in this process. So if you repeat the process, ultimately you will end up with this formula. Y of x is y naught plus x minus x naught into divided difference of x naught x1 plus x minus x naught into x minus x1 into divided difference of x naught x1 x2, and so on up to the last term. Last term will be x minus x naught, x minus x1 up to x minus xn into the divided difference of x naught x1 up to xn. And what will be the term before that? This underlined term. That will be the term before the last term, the second last term. That will be x minus x naught into x minus x1 up to x minus xn minus 1 into the divided difference of all the known data x naught, x1, x2 up to xn. So you see, the last term, the divided difference is unknown to you. Unknown x is involved. So the last term here, let me highlight that term. That is known as the error term, this last term, because in that last term, the divided difference will be unknown to you. So this is known as the error term in the interpolation. So you have to neglect this error term, and whatever you are left with, that will be the Newton's divided difference formula. So आप ये last term को हटा दो, और जो भी term बचेंगे, that will be the Newton's divided difference formula. So the Newton's divided difference formula is y of x is equals to y naught plus x minus x naught into x1 x naught x1 plus x minus x naught into x minus x1 into divided difference of x naught x1 x2 up to the last term x minus x naught into x minus x1 up to x minus xn minus 1 into divided difference of all the data x naught x1 up to xn. तो ये देखिए हर एक टर्म की डिग्री धीरे धीरे बढ़ रहे हैं. फर्स्ट टर्म इज कांस्टेंट टर्म, सेकंड टर्म की डिग्री कितने हैं? 1 है. दूसरे टर्म की डिग्री कितने हैं? x minus x naught into x minus x1. So 2. This part is real number x naught, x1, x2. That divided difference. And what is the degree of last term? कितने प्रोडक्ट हैं? x minus x naught, x minus x1 up to x minus xn minus 1. So कितने प्रोडक्ट हैं? 0 to n minus 1. How many? n. n products are there. So last term is of degree n. तो पहले टर्म में डिग्री 0 था, दूसरे टर्म की डिग्री 1 है, तीसरे टर्म की डिग्री 2 है, और लास्ट टर्म की डिग्री n है. सब को ऐड करेंगे तो दिस विल बिकम ए n डिग्री पॉलिनोमियल. Okay, so this is how Newton's divided difference table is divided difference formula is generated. It is very easy to remember, very easy to implement. So if you look at the real data which we considered, that was the table. So in this table, only the first diagonal will be used. This is the diagonal which we are planning to use. Sorry. This diagonal you will have to remember, and these values are used in the divided difference formula. You see, that was the formula. Question number 26. So let us see how the problem is solved. So how many data points are given to you? You are given 5 data points. So 4th degree polynomial you will get. So P4x is y0 plus x minus x0 into x0 x1 plus x minus x0 into x minus x2 into divided difference of x0 x1 x2 up to the last term, the 5th term in this polynomial. Let me see how the values are substituted.
सर
हाँ,
हम लोग नेट गिना रहे हैं
okay. So you go through the PDF. Main concepts are discussed. You see the examples. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Any doubt in the theory of Newton's divided difference formula and Lagrange interpolation formula? One more thing I should mention, that this is recursive in nature. You will see there. You go through the PDF. In calculation of P2, P1 is used. In calculation of P3, P2 is used. In calculation of PK, PK minus 1 is used. So that is why this method is recursive in nature. Okay. Okay. So I will stop the discussion at this point. And one more thing, quiz 2 is scheduled coming Saturday at 10:30 a.m. 10:30 a.m. to 11 a.m. Okay.
Yes.
And syllabus is interpolation unit.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. You may leave now.
Thank you, sir.